Alright guys, we got it. The game came out, I dove headfirst into the lab, and I literally just emerged with my first little baby for 2K19. That's right, I have finished testing these passing settings, and I got the best set for you, for me, for everybody to make passing work. Alright, make your passes go to the guy you were actually trying to pass to. There's a lot of testing, a lot of repetition, but I had to get these done, guys. It's just too important. I mean, they affect pretty much all of the game, every mode. It's really amazing how much more intuitive the game gets, how much better it feels, and how much better it just flows. So that had to be my first order of business. I just can't let anybody play on default. It literally hurts my heart. Alright, so let's do this. Let me show you what these are all about, and by the end of this video, you will have my tested and proven set. So basically the game uses this to decide where your pass is going to go when you press the pass button. Okay, and in order to make this decision, it's going to use these three factors down here. So when we set this, we're just telling the game how much influence we want each of these factors to have in that decision. So of course this thing is huge. It's really everything for making sure your passes go to where you want them to go. Because we all know you can't do icon passes all the time. So the three factors, you see them here, and the first one is wherever you point that L stick. So if I were to put this one all the way up, then clearly the game is only going to think about where you're pressing that L stick when you press pass. And that's the exact direction that it's going to go in. Now the next one is distance, and this basically just means how much do you want the game to favor the closer teammate. So if we were to do the same thing with this one, put this one all the way up, the game is only going to think about who's the closest teammate to the ball handler, and you press pass, it's going to that teammate no matter what. And the last one down here is openness, and that's pretty self-explanatory. It just means who's the most open teammate on the floor. So if we put this one all the way up and you press pass, then the game's just gonna do whatever it does to try to calculate who's the most open teammate on the floor, and that's where the pass is going. Okay, the first thing we're gonna want to do, get rid of it. Just pretend it's not there. Okay, and there's a couple reasons for this. First of all, the game is not advanced enough to anticipate who is going to be open when the pass arrives. A defender would be there by the time it got there, or a lot of times your teammate would be cutting kind of away from the pass or into the defense, and that would make the pass go into the defense. It's just not pretty. The other thing that happens a lot is the game is just going to make the simplest, most basic pass that doesn't really accomplish anything. Like you'll have a better pass available that might actually accomplish something, might actually get you somewhere, but he'll just kind of pointlessly swing the ball. It's like a lot of times he just does the easiest, most obvious pass that doesn't really do anything. So that's the main things that'll happen if you do use openness. The game's just not good at it, but even if it were, I would still eliminate it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like to make my own decisions, strategize myself. I like to actually play the game myself. I don't know what's fun about just pressing a button and then have the game do everything for you. So my other main takeaway from my testing, we're gonna need direction to be our main factor. Okay, of course, what it comes down to is we're gonna need the game to really listen to where we're pressing on that L stick if we're going to be able to get our passes to where we're trying to get them to. Okay, we got that. Now we're down to the tricky part. Okay, and the main thing I learned with this distance slider is that in order to make these work the best, we do want the game to have some bias to the closer guy. Now the question is, how much of a bias? And what setting will give that proper amount of bias? Okay, because these sliders don't act independently of one another. They're going to influence each other. So it's always a push and pull effect. They're each taking away from each other. So the name of the game here is to find that sweet spot. Okay, what setting is going to allow us to reliably pass to the closer guy when we want to, but still allow us to consistently override that distance bias by using our L stick to get it to the guy who's farther away when we want to. And the importance of this balance really shows when you're in a situation where you have two teammates who are in the same general direction and one is closer and one is farther away. So in that situation with the right settings, we should be able to easily pass to the closer guy, and if you're precise with the L stick, you should be able to throw it beyond the closer guy and get it to a teammate who's farther away. Okay guys, so here it comes. The set is... boom. There she is. You can see we got direction at 65, distance at 34, openness all the way down. Perfect. This is where it's at. because if you go any more up or down, one of these is going to start overriding the other too much. Okay, if we go this way and we up the distance, the game is going to start overriding the direction you're pressing on your L stick and sort of redirecting your passes a little bit to teammates who are sort of, but not quite in the direction you pressed, but they're a little closer, so the ball is going to them. Alright, the opposite will happen if we go the other way and we want to put direction up too much. That's when the sort of natural bias that it should have towards the closer guy is too low. It's not favoring that closer guy enough, and you're going to start airmailing passes over your intended targets to teammates who are farther down the floor. That's the sweet spot. That's going to make our passes go to their intended targets. It's going to make the gameplay more intuitive and make the game just flow better, flow more naturally. Now, of course, nothing's ever going to be 100%, but this set definitely makes the pass targeting the best it can be in 2K19. So of course, guys, I want to hear your feedback, okay? So plug these settings in and let me know how they're working for you in the comments. And if you found this helpful, you enjoyed the vid, you like the settings, I'd appreciate it if you leave me a like. It'll help the channel grow and allow me to test more and do more to improve the gameplay in the future. And of course, I'll be testing all kind of things all season long. I'll be getting into defensive stuff soon. So if you want to keep up with everything I learn, go ahead and subscribe down below if you haven't already. Then you can hit your notifications on. You'll get alerts on every upload. And the next one will be coming soon. But first, sleep. Alright? Oh. But when I wake up, I'll be jumping back into the lab, testing and finding more ways to improve the game experience for us. So I hope to see all you guys back up in here next time on 2K with the Popboy.